Hey guys, Jason at Hard Money Bankers. One thing that we have on our call script that works out really well, and I want to make sure you are currently doing this as well when you take applications for borrowers that want money from you, is you ask them about cross collateral and any additional assets, any additional properties that they may have. Because in essence, you could put liens against those, put mortgages or deeds of trust against those, and hold those as collateral and instead of potentially them bringing cash to close. So about, I would say 10 or 20% of the loans that we do at Hard Money Bankers has some sort of cross collateral component to it. And you may think it's kind of difficult, but I'm going to walk you through the process, and it's actually pretty simple. So in theory, it kind of works like this. Let's say you have a loan that you quote $130,000 loan amount. The borrower needs $30,000 cash to close. Well, let's say they have a free and clear rental property over here that maybe they paid $100,000 for. It's worth $100,000. It's got a tenant in there paying $1,000 a month or something similar to that. You could put a lien against that property, hold it as additional piece of collateral, up your loan amount by $30,000, and maybe the borrower doesn't need any cash to close in that particular case because you have collateral, a lien against this other property that's far better than the $30,000 in cash anyways. So you trade doing that. It's one thing that we like to market for because we realize that there's a lot of real estate investors out there that have cash flow management problems. They have a lot of projects going on at any given time, and they don't love bringing $30,000 to the table, $40,000 to the table, $25,000 to the table, $15,000 to the table, $60,000 to the table, whatever that case may be. It adds up. It's a lot of money that they need outstanding, but instead they have additional rental properties or maybe flips that are free and clear, or any property maybe that's free and clear, have a low mortgage on it, and then we put a lien against that, and that prevents them from having to bring money to the table. So it's a pretty simple process. So the way it would work is this. I'll use that same example as before. Let's say we do a loan of $130,000 and the borrower would need $30,000 cash to close. So and let's say that address is 123 Main Street. So we quote it 123 Main Street, 130 loan, $30,000 cash to close. They have 567 Broad Street with a tenant in there. Let's say it's free and clear, and it's a good piece of collateral, so you don't mind putting a first on it. So instead, what we'll do is at 130 they would need $30,000, meaning that the exposure would be 160 total. So we'll do a loan of $160,000 with a first lien on the Main Street and another first lien on Broad Street. So in essence, you have a $160,000 lien against two properties. Okay. So it's actually pretty simple to do. There's different ways to paper it depending on what state or what county you're in. But typically in the majority of the majority of the places that we do lending in, as long as the property's in the same county, they actually don't have to pay additional recording fees. So we do one loan of 160. It's actually just one loan. It's one loan of 160. And in the title commitment and in the loan docs, it references both property addresses, and then it'll be parcel 1 and then parcel 2. And they're both on the same thing. And you can do whatever. You can do 2 properties, 3 properties, 10 properties. You can cross-collateralize however many you want. Now, as you do it, and it could get a little bit more complicated, obviously, think about it. In this case, let's say the individual owner, let's say it's just James Smith. He owns both properties in his personal name. Then it's clean. James Smith is the borrower. These are 2 pieces of properties. But you can also do it where James Smith owns this property. Smith entity owns this property. And you have it as James Smith is the borrower. This entity is posting out this piece of collateral. This entity is guaranteeing the loan as well. We've done it where there's 5 properties as collateral, and there's different people that own each individual property. So it's James Smith, Steve, Kevin, then they're all signing guarantee agreements and posting those individual collateral pieces. So it's a way to get creative. Real estate investing is a creative game, and private lending is a creative game. This is something that banks aren't doing, and institutional backed lenders aren't really doing this either. Number one, because it's complicated. They don't understand how to paper it. They think it's complicated. It's actually not complicated at all. It's not hard to understand this. And if you have any decent attorney, they'll know how to help paper this for you. But we'll do this stuff regularly. It's probably the 3rd or 4th question we ask on our call script. when we're originating a loan, because it's one of those things that if someone doesn't have to bring their cash requirements to the table and they just have to post another piece of collateral, it makes life so much easier for them, cash flow management wise. They're willing to do that. And, after you have a relationship with somebody and you do multiple deals for them, then you're just substituting, cool, we just got paid off in this one, we had a lien on it, cool, let's put it on your next deal here. And then you move them around as needed. So it's a pretty easy concept. Hopefully you're following along with what I just said. Your attorney can obviously help paper that stuff, but you obviously need to understand how to explain it to them. But we've done everything from doing it in personal names to entities to trusts. Sometimes there's self-directed IRAs that come in and that own properties, and that gets a little bit more hairy, because then you can't have anyone or the borrower who's self-directed IRAs personally guarantee the loan. But get creative on it. Definitely ask the question when you're originating the loan, if they have any other properties free and clear, and you use that as well. And I've always said, I'd rather have somebody post whatever $100,000 property that I need to use 30,000 of its equity than $30,000 in cash. It's just a better equity position. It's a better play in general. So it's a pretty easy transaction. Hopefully you followed along. And if you have any questions related to this or any other topic related to hard money lending, just post some comments on this Facebook page or this YouTube page, wherever you're watching this video. This is the stuff that we do all day long over the last 11, going on 12 years now. We've got very creative as we've grown our lending portfolio. Any questions? Hit me up, Jason at Hard Money Bankers.